It's been a day, wonder if you miss me. I'm willing to bet $1 that you do. And we held hands, but only for a second. I let go 'cause it seemed like the right thing to do. It's been a week, I wonder where you miss me. On the streets of Brooklyn at 4 a.m. 'Cause then one time we both went to the ocean. You looked at me and I looked straight ahead.
Just her turns of phrase are brilliant. I'm a huge fan of comedy, and that stood out to me first, of course. But then I went to one of her shows where she did a whole set, and she balances this like tear-jerking intimacy, and she'll just suck you in with that. And then she'll have a turn of phrase, and it'll just like whoop, and you'll find yourself just dying of laughter, and then you're already crying. So it's like. I love it. She can do the whole range of emotions.
I had met her socially, and she had come to shows of other bands that I play with, and we just really liked each other. She's so smart and funny, and she's also fiercely dedicated to her music, to writing these creative, smart songs.
I would say it's kind of like folk-ish with a twist-ish. I think there's a lot of roots in folk, but it's a little offbeat.
Hello, I'm Amy Zoe, and I'm the drummer for The Debbie Miller.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Young, and I'm the bass player for The Debbie Miller.
Hi, I'm Debbie Miller. I'm a singer-songwriter living here in Seattle, and you're watching Band in Seattle.
Tonight on Band in Seattle, sing along to the earnest and heartfelt lyrics from singer-songwriter Debbie Miller. Welcome to Band in Seattle.
I tippy-toe my way into your heart, so quiet you don't even know I'm there. But I swear you'll realize once I'm gone. Like a refrigerator running, you didn't even know it was on till it was off.
So Tippy Toe is kind of about having a crush on someone, but maybe they don't really know, but you're working your way in somehow into their subconscious. So it's a little creepy, actually.
But I'm careful not to move a thing, and you think it's sweet that I'm discreet. And I never run into any other girls but me, which is good, 'cause I would beat them up. Oh, do 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 do. Oh, next to work my way to your sense of touch, and I find it does not require much to make you want me all the time. Just a playful brush up against your thigh, and you were mine.
I started taking piano lessons when I was 7. Then when I got to high school, I started doing theater. And then when I got to college, I started teaching myself the guitar and singing in an a cappella group. And then when I was in New York City in my mid-20s, I started singing backup vocals for a friend of mine. And I thought, I think I could do this too. So I started writing songs. I think I wrote my first song when I was 24, 25. When I actually got offered my first gig, I didn't even have enough songs to fill up a whole set, so I had to scramble and write a bunch more just so I could fill up 45 minutes. And then everything has just kept going from there, little bit by little bit. No one taught me how to write songs. I remembered really liking to write poetry when I was in high school, and I tried actually to write songs for a while, but I never really would get anywhere. When I pictured a songwriter, I kind of thought about someone like Bob Dylan, who just had the words flowing through him, and he didn't have to do anything, just like the songs kind of come out. I didn't realize you actually have to like try. So I wrote a lot of garbage for, I wrote a lot of songs that weren't great, but every once in a while I would write something that would click and feel good. And then I realized, oh, actually, this is a skill that you can hone and develop rather than it just someone just being like a conduit. And I draw usually from my personal experiences, more often than not, romantic relationships. But since I moved to Seattle, I've had the fortune and opportunity to work with the Bushwick Book Club. So we write songs inspired by literary works and then perform them in front of an audience. So that's been really cool and a different way to write a song that isn't really drawing necessarily from my life experience, but something I can relate to.
I am misunderstood, but don't misunderstand me now. I am the queen of hearts and see the world forgot somehow that what I do is just and right, and I think you'll agree. When I collect people's heads, I do it mostly for you and just slightly for me. It started many years ago as I tried to fall asleep. My neighbor played his music loud and proceeded to keep me up all night and kept awake the entire kingdom too. I asked quite nice to turn it down, though he rudely refused. So I took matters into my own heart, to put it quite simply. Took his head and chopped it off, and we all slept in peace.
Queen of Hearts was actually a song that I wrote for the Bushwick Book Club. The book was Alice in Wonderland. So I wrote this song from the Queen of Hearts perspective, kind of thinking like at some point she must have had good intentions and then she lost her way and became a maniac. Someone reached out to me from this documentary series from PBS. I thought it was a joke, asking if they could somehow incorporate my song into this show called The Great American Read. And yeah, this crew like flew out here and interviewed me, and I got to play a little bit of the song, and I was in the show with all these famous people. I didn't meet the famous people, but I was in the same TV episode with them.
So I did what was just. I offed her pretty little head, and then I tossed it out the side. The passengers and King and I enjoy a quiet train ride. But the crowd didn't cheer as loud this time, and there were no roses at my feet. Some looked horrified, but most looked satisfied, if you ask me. So you're going to Alaska on your own. So here's a song for when you feel alone. And if you see a bear in the wild, I'll come protect you. And I'd probably get eaten, 'cause I'm not fast or strong, oh, but from no appear out of thin air. I know that you don't need me, but you should know my intention is there. And you leave many miles behind you on that road, and over your shoulder are the ones you hold. And if you're cold in the night, I will come and wrap my arms around you. And it probably do no good, 'cause my arms are thin and small. Oh, but I would do it and protect you from the storm. I know you'll have a blanket, but I hope this song will keep you warm.
The song Alaska is actually a song that I wrote as a present for someone, actually an ex, who was taking a trip to Alaska and couldn't bring much physical baggage with them. So as a going away present, I wrote the song so he could listen to it while he was traveling in these remote places.
And some days it might be hard just to move your legs, and all of those mountains will get steeper, yeah. And if you're lost in the wood, I'll come find you all by myself. And it'd probably be a mess, 'cause we both know the truth. I have no sense of direction, I get lost in my own room. But in the meantime, I hope this song will come find you.
I love playing with other musicians for obvious reasons, because you get so much more sound and variety, and it just adds different textures and layers, and it totally changes the energy of a performance. And I love the people I play music with, so there's that element of it. But I also really love playing solo, because I have a lot more freedom to maybe ad-lib in the middle of the song and stop and not throw off the drummer and crack a joke and take my time with the phrasing and not, feel like I'm messing anyone else up, because I do that a lot.
My role for sure, and Rebecca will probably say the same thing, but it's always to serve the song, and her lyrics are so important and at the forefront when she's doing solo stuff too. And we always, especially for the comedy moments and stuff, you don't want that to get lost with instruments going over the top of it. You want to serve everything up as much as you can. So it's been learning to find the balance of like making this really musical, but then also finding moments to make other things like different emotions pop out. That's been really fun to just try and weave all that together.
So we have now awkward pauses in between songs, but that's sort of like a metaphor for life right now, because life right now is just like an awkward pause and nobody knows what to do all the time. Would you say that's accurate?
This is the way that I sneakily become a stand-up without actually having the pressure of doing stand-up comedy, because if no one laughs, I just keep playing, But like if you tell a joke and no one laughs,
Debbie will, as you know, and as the audience will see or hear, she makes you laugh and cry, sometimes in the same song. She's so clever and she's hilariously funny, and then at the same time, some of her songs are just so deep and sad. But then we have something like Metaphor, and it is, again, so smart and funny and shows you Debbie, I think, at her complete self.
One time you came up to me and said to me quite drunkenly that you liked my freckles. Do you still like my freckles? And how's your wife? And one time you texted me to tell me how much you missed me and that I fit you like a glove. Do I still fit you like a glove? I wouldn't know, 'cause I only wear mittens. And by the way, how's your fiance? You were a long, long time ago, and you're all getting so very small in the rearview mirror of the car on the road of my life. That's a metaphor. And was I
Metaphor is a song that is basically a plot summary of my romantic history.
I'm not joking. You were all in the way back when, and I was like a child then, or like a babe in the woods, or like a grocer without the goods. Those are similes. And when I was an actual kid, I thought you get wise when you get big. Oh, 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 silly me. My heart is ripe, my mind tired, my whole body's been rewired. Try though I might to trust love, I've been trained to just smell blood.
Birth and Death is a new song. It's one that I wrote during quarantine. At the time, I had just met someone new, so I was starting a new relationship just as we were losing so much. So the title is kind of dramatic, but it's kind of that experience of like, we live in this time where we're losing so much and also something new is starting.
Time's the blockade, time's the way. It's all we've got in one day. Try though we might to let go, we hold on to what we know. And we don't know this different world overnight, a brand new world. Sometimes I forget to breathe. Sometimes I just get lonely. We now fear what we need most. We all of us want to be close, but we can't do that in this world. It is too dangerous in this world.
In some ways, this pause that we have takes the pressure off. And I think it's also forcing people to be more creative in how they reach others. So maybe this is a time to do more recording and creating. I mean, for me, nothing beats a live performance and being in front of an audience, and that's really the whole reason that I make music, is because I love playing live shows, and so it's been a really hard thing not to be able to have in my life, just that exchange of energy with other humans. So my hope is that, maybe not for a little bit, but that will return, because that really is what fills me the most, and I feel when I perform live, I feel the most myself.
The days are long, the hours wide. I need someone to spend some time with me in my living space. I need to see an unmasked face. So I put out the SOS on the railing of my deck. I'll just wait here for you now as I expectantly look out for you to come visit me.
I don't want to spoil the song on this one. This one's just called Waiting for a Visitor in Quarantine, and I think it's one that's just better to listen to.
Don't be coy, you know I'm here, and I can tell that you are near. I feel your presence in the air, and I have so much love to share.